Yo guys, what's going on? This is Mustache MMA and welcome to Parlay Plays episode 3, Hermansson versus Strickland. I'm going to go through this card and select a couple different variation of parlays that I like. Some even money parlays, which is about even money to plus 200, some juicy parlays, which is about plus 300 to plus 800, and some long shot parlays, which is going to be about plus 1,000 or more. Yeah, before I get into that, I am going to go over my results from last week's card for my other parlays. So you'll see my January results up here. I went 4 of 12 on all the parlays for a net of plus 4.24 units. So pretty good. What came in clutch was those even money parlays. I'm 4 for 4 on those in January, 4 for 4 on those for 2022. So looking to keep that rolling, man. And then for last week's card, UFC 270, the total for the parlays was 2 of 6 for a net of plus 0.61 units. So not totally a huge win in the green, but nevertheless a win in the green, and I will take that every day. So like I said, my even money parlays, they went 2 for 2. This first one, Taporia inside the distance, that fight was voided. So really, this wasn't technically a parlay, but it was Moreno and Figgy to start the fourth round at minus 126. That cashed. And then another unit parlay was Gravely, double chance, KO, TKO, or decision, and Piera, double chance, KO or TKO or decision at plus 132. That also cashed. And then the Juicy Parlays went 0 for 2, as well as the Longshot Parlays. Juicy Parlays, Barcelos money line and over 1.5. Gane money line and over 2.5. Barcelos and Gane both lost. And then the other Juicy Parlay, Della Maddalena KO, Giles money line, Nurmagomedov decision. Giles lost, Nurmagomedov won by submission. So only one leg hit out of that one. And then the long shot parlays, Barcelos unanimous decision, Piera unanimous decision. Barcelos lost. Piera did get that unanimous decision, so 1 out of 2 legs hit there. And then Topuria knockout in the first or second round. Again, that one was voided, so it was really only a single bet here. And that was Gane, KO or TKO in the third, fourth, or fifth round. Again, that fight went the distance, and Gane also lost. Looking to keep the parlays rolling and keep them in the green. Let's go ahead and get started on some even money parlays for this card. Hermansson versus Strickland. First even money parlay I got going on is a Dawodu money line and a Johns money line. That comes out to plus 145 over on DraftKings. I like both these guys a lot. I think both of these fights are mainly going to take place in the stand-up, and I really favor both of these guys with their stand-up over their opponents. Dawodu fighting Mike Trizano. Both good strikers with both good striking defense. Dawodu has fought the tougher competition, and he throws a lot more output than Trizano. Trizano can seem to be a little bit more patient sometimes, and I think Dawodu is definitely the most dangerous guy that Trizano has ever faced in his career up to this point as well. So I favor Dawodu striking over Trizano. I think he's going to stay on the feet majority of the fight, so I favor that. Same kind of way it plays out for Johns and Castaneda. I like the Johns money line. I think he is better on the feet than Castaneda. I think it's going to stand up on the feet. Johns is more technical. Volume-wise, they may throw similar amount, but I think Johns is going to be able to land more than Castaneda, as Castaneda's striking defense isn't that great. Dawodu money line, Johns money line, plus 145, DraftKings. That's the first even money parlay. Second even money parlay, I got Barry Olt and Noju Kwani. Fight goes the distance. and John's Castaneda fight goes the distance. That comes out to plus 187 over on FanDuel. Yeah, I really like Burial and Nojukwani to go to the distance. Burial, very tough, very durable, very good cardio. Has had 4 losses in his career, and all of those losses have came from decision, so never finished in his career. You like to see that. Also on his win side, he's not the most damaging opponent. He doesn't have the biggest power. Most of his wins, I do believe, come from a decision. On the other side, Nojukwani, he does have power in his hands, but again, I don't think he's going to be able to put off Burial. Burial's a really tough guy. Nojukwani also has good cardio, so I don't think it's going to be a late finish for Burial because of a cardio question here. Nojukwani, he has been finished in his career twice. However, they have been to both. All of his most recent losses have come from the Bellator promotion, where he's facing top-ranked opponents in the Bellator promotion. So it's not like he's facing bums that are finishing him. So yeah, all that said, I like that one to go the distance. And then John's Castaneda, I like this one to go the distance as well. John's does have 1 loss on his resume, and it is a finish. However, it was a flying knee. I like to really think of flying knees as a fluke. Not a fluke, but it's not really something that I cater into thinking, oh, this dude's chin is questionable. A flying knee is a powerful shot. If that lands flush, that's going to put anybody out. Castaneda, I think he's only been finished once in his career. I'm not remembering it off the top of my head, but I think it was early in his career. So since then, he's been tough to finish as well. So both these guys only finished once in their career, one from a flying knee, the other early in his career. John's also more of a decision guy as well. His two most recent fights have actually come by finish. But those opponents have shown that they're a little bit chinny. So I don't take that too much into factor coming into this Castaneda fight. Castaneda on the other side, he is a bit of a finisher, but he's had 2 UFC fights in his career so far. One was a loss that went to the decision, and one was a win against Eddie Wineland, first round knockout. But Eddie Wineland, he's an older guy. His chin has kind of gone. I don't take too much into account with that knockout win. So both guys are coming off knockout wins, but I don't think they both possess crazy power to knock each other out, and they both have really good chins. So I like fight goes the distance as well. Again, that was Burial Nojukwani fight goes the distance, with John's Castaneda fight goes the distance at plus 187 over on FanDuel. So those are the even money parlays. Moving on to the juicy parlays, plus 300 to plus 800 territory. Going with Nojukwani money line and a battle money line. A nice little dog parlay going on here. So these guys are both slight dogs, but nevertheless, they are plus money dogs. Nojukwani money line. I like this. I don't really like Burial too much. I mean, it seems like he's able to win against competition that isn't very good. And then any competition that is, solid, he tends to struggle and lose those fights by decision. Nojukwani, he struggled in Bellator a bit, but he was fighting top competition. And anywhere else where he's fought, he's dominated and he's really won impressively. Nojukwani, man, he does have that power. He's really good in the clinch, and he has good cardio that can keep up with Burial's cardio as well. So, I think he gets the win here. Money line is nice just in case he gets that knockout, but I do think he wins a decision, winning 2 out of 3 rounds. Moving on to battle money line. I also favor battle in his fight against Tresean Gore. I mean, I'm not big on Tresean Gore. Yeah, the power's there, but at the same time, this dude is so one-dimensional with his striking, only throwing 1 strikes at a time, doesn't really throw any combinations. He just kind of walks his opponent down and waits and is patient and tries to throw that power shot. I mean, for that reason, I just think Battle is going to outpiece him. He's going to outvalue him, and that's going to look good in the judges' scorecards. Gore may land some big shots, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win the decision, because I think Battle is just going to put more of a volume and pace and pressure on him. So yeah, I like No Jinquani money line, Battle money line. That's a juicy parlay that comes out to plus 390 over on FanDuel. Next juicy parlay, I got Bondar inside the distance, Almeida inside the distance, Erosa inside the distance. So looking for a trifecta of finishes here. That comes out to plus 620 over on DraftKings. Bondar inside the distance, I like him to get this finish here. He holds all 16 of his wins have been by finishes, although this is his UFC career, or debut, I should say. So this is going to probably be one of his tougher fights that he will have. But his opponent who's his opponent? Malcolm Gordon. He has 5 losses on his resume, all by finish. So he's been knocked out 4 times, submitted once, I believe. His grappling is pretty decent, but he has shown that, he can be finished. Going on to the Almeida side, Almeida inside the distance, he's fighting a highly touted Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in, I'm blanking on everybody's name, Danilo Marques. Danilo Marques, like I said, good black belt, but nothing in the stand-up at all. Wrestling is okay, but where he goes and where he wants to be is top control and top pressure with his jiu-jitsu. And Almeida, man, he's really good wrestling. He has really good wrestling. He has really good kind of top control pressure. He has good jiu-jitsu as well. And he just puts on a grind and a pressure on his opponents. Man, I keep forgetting their names. Danilo Marques. He has shown in the past that he has a bit of a cardio issue. And that pressure and pace that Almeida puts on his opponents, that is really going to run into a factor here. I see Almeida getting a finish probably in the second or the third round. Erosa inside the distance as well, kind of similar to Almeida. This dude puts on crazy pace, crazy pressure. Peterson, he's only been finished once in his career, I believe, and that was early in his career. But Erosa, he's a finisher. He goes all out to get the finish. He never stops either. Third round finishes, he has gotten those multiple times in his career. So, don't count him out if you're going into the third round sweating that Erosa, it's over. He hasn't gotten the finish in the first or the second. No, he gets finishes in the third round. So it's good to see from someone like that he's never going to stop. He's always hunting for a finish. Again, that pressure, that pace that he's going to put on Peterson, I think that's really going to hinder Peterson pretty badly, and I think he's going to get finished by sub or knockout TKO. So yeah, Bondar inside the distance, Almeida inside the distance, Erosa inside the distance for plus 620 over on DraftKings. Now we're going to move into the long shot parlays, plus 1,000 or more. So we got No Jinquani. First one, No Jinquani by decision and Strickland by KO TKO. This comes out to plus 1180 over on FanDuel. Again, throwing in No Jinquani in here. Like I said before, I like the decision play. Barry Olt, very durable guy, very good shin, very good cardio, and No Jinquani to pair that. He also has good cardio. I give him the striking edge. And I think he's going to be able to grind out Barry Olt, win 2 of 3 rounds. Strickland by KO TKO. The main event here, Jack Hermansson, obviously going to want to start using that wrestling and that grappling that he has and that he uses to his advantage in most of his fights. However, I think Strickland is going to have the better wrestling defense. He showed that when he faced Usman, he was able to stuff a good amount of his takedowns, who has some of the best wrestling in the entire UFC, you could argue. So with that being said, Hermansson's stand-up on the feet isn't great. He got knocked down and almost finished by Marvin Vettori in the first round. So that goes to show you how much of his stand-up isn't that great. I mean, Marvin Vettori does have good stand-up, but he does have power. He doesn't put people away like that, and he almost did it to Hermansson. So a guy like Strickland, who's constantly plotting forward, who has more power, who is throwing lots of volume, wants to get in a war, wants to get in a bloodbath. I see him finishing. Hermansson here. So yeah, no Jinquani, decision, Strickland, KO, TKO, plus 1180 on FanDuel. And then the last long shot parlay and last parlay I'm doing for the video is Dawodu, KO, TKO, and Maximov decision. This comes out to plus 2156, 2156 over on FanDuel as well. Dawodu by KO or TKO. So he's facing Trizano. I mean, Trizano has shown that he is tough and very durable fighter. However, I think Dawodu is the best striker that he's ever faced in his career. Dawodu, he's not necessarily known for his finishes. He has finished a good amount of opponents in his past. But again, I don't know how Trizano's going to fare. Dawodu throws a lot of volume. He has power. He's very technical. He's good with his counters. I think Trizano has a good chance of getting caught here and getting finished by a KO, TKO by Dawodu. So I favor that. I favor probably a decision over Dawodu, for Dawodu. Sorry. But I think the value on the KO TKO is pretty good, and I think it has a good chance of hitting. So that's why I'm going to pair it up with this parlay. And then the other leg of the parlay, Maximov decision. Again, Maximov, he is fighting Soriano, Punahele Soriano, a first-round knockout kind of guy, big power in his hands, never had a finish outside of the first round. So classic heavy striker versus decorated wrestler in Maximov. I like Maximov to grind on this dude, use his relentless wrestling. His stand-up is atrocious, so he could get knocked out in the first round. But Maximov, I like to see him use his wrestling hard, heavy, and early. Really close that distance, grind on him, a lot of clinch situations, not letting Soriano breathe, getting him tired, draining on his arms so he's unable to use that power to his advantage in the later rounds. And I like Maximov really using that wrestling heavy style and winning a decision here against Soriano. We haven't seen Soriano use his wrestling defense too much, so it is a big question mark. So I do like a Maximov decision at pretty good value. So I'm throwing this on a long shot parlay as well. So again, it's a Dawodu KO TKO and a Maximov decision that comes out to plus 2156 over on FanDuel. So yeah, that's all my parlays for this card. I don't think I mentioned it, but how I rank these parlays is I put 1 unit on the even money parlays, I put a half a unit on the juicy parlays, I put a quarter unit on the long shot parlays. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave some comments down below of some parlays that you guys like, or if you liked any of my parlays, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, this is going to be all the videos for this card. I may have a reaction video coming out later this week after the card, or I may not. I'm still trying to figure out if I still want to continue that series. But nevertheless, thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you soon.